We are going to implement a system, leaderboard system using Node.js, Redis, and you'll also see that in a UI. Let me add for Rohit Sharma. Let's say Rohit Sharma score is 76. Alright. Now if we just refresh it, you find that Rohit Sharma is here again. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we know that Redis is widely used for different kind of caching use cases than real-time analytics, and it is used as a lot of other type of use cases and is as a different type of data structures. But one of the most useful use case of Redis is having a real-time leaderboard, dashboard system or real-time ranking system. Just like you play different kind of games, right? Like let's say you play a car race game or play PUBG, okay, or any racing game you play online, you see that the ranks instantly move up and down. That's true, that too with a little latency, little lag. So in those cases, you would definitely want to see a live updating leaderboard and ranking system, right? Rank board. So in those cases, you might not want to rely on the traditional SQL databases like ESQL and MySQL, etc. Because when you are dealing with a real-time leaderboard system, you need to frequently update the records, and updating with a database like this disk-based database will become a little bit slower. So updates won't be able to support that kind of frequent high read and writes. So in order to solve that, we are going to implement a system, leaderboard system using Node.js, Redis, and we'll also see that in a UI, and we'll code it out today, and we'll use the Redis sorted set. So if you have checked my video on Redis crash course, there I have discussed about this sorted sets. Okay, so if you just go to Docker and search for Redis sorted set, you'll find that we have this kind of sorted set here. So we're going to use Redis sorted set to design our leaderboard system using our Node.js and Redis and UI. And why do we use sorted set? Because sorted sets provides of log n complexity for insertion and ranking as well. So it makes it quite a lot of faster than the traditional databases. Without any further delay, let's start coding. All right. So before that, what I have done, I have already installed the Redis stack in my laptop. So Redis stack is running here, as you can see, and I've installed it using Docker. So you can choose to install directly in your operating system or use Docker as well. That is fine, up to you. The Redis stack is running on 67.9 port. So now let's just go and start designing our API server using Node.js first. And in order to visualize the things, instead of developing a UI, what we'll do, we'll just visualize the things, visualize the leaderboard here in the Redis way. Redis gives a graphical user interface to see the data and to explore the data that it has stored in a real-time manner. So we'll explore that as well. Okay, so this will be our UI for now, and let's just try to build the API now. Okay, API server. So for that, what I've done, I've created one repository here for Redis use cases. Maybe let me just make a folder called leaderboard. Okay, let me just go inside the leaderboard. Cool. And inside this, I'll just run npm init.y. I'll just initialize this folder. Alright. So we have our leaderboard. Just ignore this package.json. I'll just delete it. Now we'll install three packages that we need. First, we will be using Express to create our API server. Then we will be needing IORedis. So IORedis is a npm client that is given by Redis. Alright. You can use Redis also, and we have IORedis also. Both of them we can use. So we are going to use IORedis for it. Alright. So let me just install that first. Okay. We'll use IORedis also, and I'm going to use the .env. Okay, just to store our environment. Let me just install it. So once this is installed, yeah, now all of our three packages are installed. So I have my .NET env, Express, and IORedis here. We have our node modules also. Alright. So let me just create a file called app.js where we'll define our entire things. Okay, entire APIs will be building and interacting with it, and see the leaderboard here. So once this is done, what I want to do, first I want to create a .env file. Alright, let me just create a .env file where we'll be basically storing our environment variables like my Redis host name, all those things we'll be using. So as I'm using, let's say local Redis, right? I'll just use, let's say 127.0.0.1, all right? And my Redis runs on 6379 port. As you can see here, my Redis runs on 6379 port, and what is the other port? That is for the UI. You can see the UI runs on 8001 port, okay? So once this is done, just go to our app.js and first load the environment. Load the, will require .env .config. So once this is done, we'll also, so I'm using Copilot here, so it helps me write code faster. So you can install that Copilot extension, all right? So yeah, now we have imported all the required packages. Let me just run it just to check that everything is running fine. I can use nodemon. Then what we'll do, we'll just start a simple server, right? Then we'll create the application, express application, and let's mark our port as 3000. Let's run our local server in 3000 only, all right? Then what we'll do, we'll create a connection to our Redis client. So let's say Redis, let me just rename it as Redis, all right? So Redis is equal to new Redis, so we'll do, okay? And as we know, this is our host which runs in the Redis host which we have already defined here, all right? In case it is not there, we'll just use a default value, okay? So that is 127.0.0.1. So you can write localhost also, not an issue. And here the port will be 6379, all right? And as I do not have any password for now, I'll just comment it for now, okay? And let's say we'll set up a key for a leaderboard. Let's say we are running a game for PUBG, okay? Let's say leaderboard key is PUBG, or I can just name it like leaderboard then PUBG, okay? So why we are using this kind of syntax, I've already explained that in my Redis crash course series. So we use this syntax to create a hierarchy so that we can store multiple games under this single folder structure in a hierarchical structure. Just for better visualization purpose, you can check out that crash course, you'll understand. Now once we are done, before we add we'll just ask the app to use JSON for us, all right? And then we'll start writing our APIs, all right? So first we'll write a, let's say, put API. Instead of get, first I'll just put API, write a put API, okay? So let me just write some documentation for our API. So here the route will be, let's say I'm going to write a put API first. It will be to update leaderboard, all right? Or let me just rename it like this, leaderboard slash update, okay? And what it is going to send, it is going to update the leaderboard. This is just a description that I'm giving. Then we'll just write our first leaderboard update code. So if I just hit on tab, you can see that it is given me the player and score, all right? I mean, from in request body, I'll get the player and what is its score. Then we are just, using this zadd command. If we now go to the documentation, official documentation sorted set. So zadd command is used to add score in a given leaderboard key against a given player and a given score. We add the score like this. We are going to use the zadd score. Okay, if you go to Nodejs example, you'll find like this. We are going to use the zadd command to store the score of our player. All right. I hope small one also should work. In Python, it is zadd. It is zadd. Let's see if that doesn't work. We'll just try to modify the code. So this is a simple update API where we are just updating the score of our player, right, in the leaderboard. And before that, we can add some validation also. If not player or not score. Let's add a validation that player and score are required. All right, now let's do one thing. Let's just start our API server. So you'll make app.listen on the port and mark it like our server is running on this port. Did I miss on something here? Okay, I think I missed this. So let's just save now and let's start our server. So our server is running on port 3000. All right, so let me just open Postman. Just test it API. Yeah. So we'll first test our API. Okay, so this is our first put API, right? So this localhost 3000. Then what was the API endpoint that we gave here? Leaderboard/update. Leaderboard/update. Right, and it is a put request. I have not implemented any authentication as I am testing in local. So then what we will do, we'll just try passing the request body. Okay, JSON format will pass the request body, and in the request body we need to send what. So first just let's try hitting this API without any request body, and let's see what happens. Player and score are required. So we got that validation error. So now I am going to send the player. Let's say player is Virat Kohli and his current score is, let's say, 18. All right, now let's just see and send it. Leaderboard updated. Now let's just to check this whether our leaderboard was actually updated or not. Let's see. Yeah, now if you see in our UI we have a sorted set called leaderboard. All right, and inside that we have a inside a leader we have a folder called leaderboard. Inside that we have a sorted set called PUBG. So that's what I was explaining you. If you create keys like this with a column format, so this will be treated as the folder, and inside that you can group related information in the single folder. So this is quite very much useful for organizing things. All right, if you just check it, you see that Virat score is 18. All right, so that we are done with the updating part. Now let's just add a request to, we'll just add a post request to update increment the score of a existing user. Okay, so first we use this API to insert a user in the record, or insert a player in the hash set, in the sorted set, and this API will use to increment the score of a given player. All right, so description, increment the score of a player. Now what we'll do, we'll just write our leaderboard increment. All right. Again, in order to increment the score of a player, we are going to use the same code, similar code as above. So here we'll use the Z increment by command. So what does increment by command does? It increases the score of a given player by 1. If you go here and search for Z increment by, so using this Z increment by command of Redis, what you can do, you can increment the value of a given key with a given amount of value with the number that we are planning. Let's say I want to increase the score of Virat to, let's say existing score of Virat is how much? अभी ये क्या है? अभी ये 18 है. Let's say मैं इसको increase करना चाहता हूँ to 48 or 36 or 20. So what I will do, I'll just call this API. All right, now let's just call this API. I'll just create another API. All right, if you can duplicate, yeah, I can duplicate. Increment. One simple way you could have done is to, instead of having these suffixes, okay, you could have directly used the thing with the same URL only, but with different request method. But just for understanding purpose, I am adding it here. Okay, so you can do that as per your will. So let's say I want to increase the score of the player by 2. Now if I send this, score has been updated. So ideally this score should be 20 now. You see the score has been changed to 20. So that's how we updated the score. Now let me just check. Let's just add the scores of other players also. Let me add for Rohit Sharma. Let's say Rohit Sharma score is 76. All right. Now if you just refresh it, you find that Rohit Sharma is here again. So by default, how sorted set works is it sorts the records in a this ascending order. That's the default behavior of it. All right. Now if you want to sort in the ascending order, you can just click this. All right. And in so now you are done with two APIs. One to increment the score and one to update the leaderboard. The one to add one key in the leaderboard or add a player in the leaderboard. So two APIs are done. So third API, what we will do, we will create API to get the, let's say, now let's create an API to find the rank of a particular player. All right. Let's say we want to know the leaderboard rank of a particular player. So this is how we're going to design. And in description, let's say this is I'll write fetches the rank of a given player. Now I'll just write the API for this. App.get leaderboard. Now if you see this, here the input parameter will be just the player, the name of the player for whom I am trying to get the score. Alright, and we are going to use rev rank. Rev is for reverse rank because by default it sorts the record in an ascending order. So using this rev rank command, if we just search for this, if you go to rev rank, alright, returns the rank of a number in the sorted set at key with the score sorted from high to low. So it will first sort the records in a descending manner, then find out the rank of the particular player. So no doubt here visually we can see that Rohit Sharma is ranked above Virat Kohli. Alright, but in our case, we will expose an API so that we can use that in our further UI development. Let's say you are developing a custom UI using React or Angular. So in that you can use those API, consume those API to get those records. Okay. So now let me just duplicate this request again. Let's just try to find the rank of whom? Virat %2 because I'm URL encoding the query parameters. Right? So I got some error. It's interesting. What is the error there? Cannot get. Why? Leaderboard, rank, then player. Let me just try with the empty example first. Cannot get this. Okay, I have not saved the file, man. Okay, so I have not saved the file. Sorry for that. Alright, now let's just try to find a rank. Even if it does not exist, it is sending the name. But if I send a correct name which exists in the server, you see that rank of Virat Kohli is 2, and if I just pass, let's say Rohit Sharma, I just pass like this, it sends rank as 1. Now let's try adding some more players in the list. Let's say I'll add some other player. Let's say whom? Pandya. Okay, Pandya is, let's say, 90. I'll add it, and let's see, we pass the key as Pandya. Now Pandya's score is high because in the UI, if you can see, if I just refresh it, Pandya's score is high, but if I pass Rohit Sharma again, it gives me 2, and rank of Virat Kohli will be, it's 3. Alright, so now our API to get the ranks are also ready. Now what we will do, we'll add an API to remove the player from the list. So our route is going to be delete leaderboard, and there will be passing the name of the player. Alright, just for simplicity we can add like this. Alright, description, remove a player from the app.delete. Now what we will do will be to remove a element, remove a key from the list. We are going to use the zrem, okay, zremove command from the leaderboard, and here we'll be passing the player key. And now I've saved it also, and let's just try it in the postman once. I'll just duplicate the tab. So it's a delete request. Let me just find it as delete. We'll want to remove Virat Kohli from the list. If I send this, so the player was removed from the dashboard. Now in order to verify that, see that yeah, the player was removed from the dashboard. So there are other commands that are available, right? Z inter, then Z reference are also there. All right. Now if I just go to the main command of sorted sets, there will be commands for incrementing, then decrementing, then adding. All right. Then if you go to the basic commands, you have the zrange. All right. So you can, let's say, use this zrange command to get top 3 or top 4 elements. So top 4, that means I'm giving it a range. Give me the top 4 players of the game. So you can use the zrange command to get that top 4. You can implement an API something like top 5 records or top 5 players of the game. So you can use zrange for that. So I'm not going to implement that. I leave that up to you to implement an API to get the top 5 records or top 5 players of the game. And let's try to use this zrange command, okay? And there is a similar command called zreference, which will be giving you the records in a reverse order. All right, just like we had zreferenc and zrank. So zreference also is a command in this sorted set of Redis. So I'll leave that up to you to implement that and share your code in the Twitter with me. All right. So I'm going to push this code in my repository. So you can check out my repository. So if you want to explore the code, you can directly explore this and try it out. All right. So what are the next things? So this is just a simple example of how to use Redis to create a leaderboard like this. All right. Now, what next we can do to in order to enhance the existing implementation? So you can store different kind of metadata, like let's say usernames or avatars to utilize consume it in your UI. All right. Against a player, you want to show some avatars, right, or some logos. Then you can use Redis streams for broadcasting the leaderboard changes in real time. All right, because it's a real time thing. So as soon as data is getting changed in the sorted set, you can use Redis stream to pass on that information and show it in your UI in the real time. Then you can use geo-distributed leaderboards. Let's say you are hosting multiple games in multiple locations of the on the globe. So you can maintain proper region-based dashboards like this using Redis. And then you can obviously have a multi-game leaderboard, which I already explained. I created one leaderboard for PUBG like this, and you can create another leaderboard for, let's say, Asphalt. All right, and this way you can maintain multiple sorted sets in an organized manner in the same Redis instance. All right, so I hope you understood the different concepts of how to use the Redis sorted set commands to create a leaderboard like this. All right, so we also implemented Express server to interact with our Redis client and create a leaderboard like this, and we also visualize the data in this UI. So if you like this video and if you got to learn something from this video, drop a like and subscribe to my channel. We're targeting to reach 3,000 subscribers, sorry, by the end of this month. And if you want to understand the theoretical part of the entire Redis concept with some command line express, command line tools and examples, I have explained all the concepts of Redis in my Redis crash course. You can check out that Redis crash course video also. It's a 1-hour video, but it's worth it. I've covered all the different type of data structures available in Redis. All right, we have a lot of data structures available in Redis. So sorted set is one of them. So we have covered all of them with examples I've explained. So you'll definitely find it useful. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. And if you have any questions about this video, drop them in the comment section and let's have a healthy discussion there. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.